It's a unique weekend on the Hong Kong racing calendar this weekend, as for the one and only time this season we're racing on Sunday at Happy Valley. Here's what we've got coming up for you on Hong Kong Direct, and we're going to go back to last week and look at Furore breaking his runabout in the ladies' purse and the HKR implications for that win. Plus, we'll go behind the scenes with Jeune and the tracks team at Happy Valley. I'm Edward Sadler. It's terrific to have your company on the show. My special guest this week on Hong Kong Direct is Sam Agars from the South China Morning Post. Sam, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me, Edward. Pleasure to be here as always.
Always a pleasure to have you on the show, Sam. Before we go right back then to last weekend, let's recap on what's happened so far in Hong Kong racing this week. The standout performance on Wednesday night on the dirt, King's Shield. That was a really taking victory, wasn't it? It
was, Ed. It was huge. I think proved right there and then that he's Hong Kong's premier dirt horse, and in a tough year and tough circumstances as far as travelling horses, hopefully he does get to show his very best overseas, perhaps in Dubai come March.
Yeah, definitely. A race like the Godolphin Mile, or even leading up to that on Super Saturday, like the Burj Nahar, both events over a mile on the dirt at Meydan, will be perfect options for him. From a jockey's point of view, Jerry Chow, he's really continued his development this season. The Apprentice, a double on Wednesday night, so he no longer has his £10 claim.
No, he doesn't, and he raced to 13 wins. He's fifth in the premiership, and look, he's just going beautifully. A great effort for such a young man, only 20 years of age, and now he's got a little suspension to reflect on his achievements and work out what he's going to do now that he doesn't have that £10.
Yes, that's right. So we won't see him this weekend at Happy Valley, or even through the week at Happy Valley. We'll have to wait until next Saturday before we see Jerry in action. He's got the third best strike rate as far as the jockeys in Hong Kong are concerned at the moment. So that's a terrific achievement in itself. But as promised, let's go right back to last weekend. The Sarsa Ladies Purse is always a significant race on the Hong Kong calendar. This year it was taken out by Furore. To tell us more, though, here's Doug Chalmers.
One of the oldest events on the Hong Kong racing calendar, the Group 3 Sarsa Ladies Purse is often a significant guide towards the Jeune Hong Kong International races in December. And this year's renewal of the event was no exception. All eyes were on Exultant as the Horse of the Year made his return to the races for the first time this season. But instead, he was upstaged by his stablemate, Furore.
Furore snatched the lead in the purse and snatched the purse from Exultant and Dances with Dragon, and it's Furore Sarsa Ladies Purse.
It was Furore's first win since he landed the 2019 Hong Kong Derby, and his first since joining Tony Cruz's stable, with the legendary handler celebrating a stable Quinella.
Obviously I expected him to win today. I thought his lead-up run was pretty good. He was flying home in behind, but he didn't notice much. But the distance was much too short, 1600. 18 would be perfect for him today. And I thought, Joe, we can win this race, you know.
Runner-up Exultant was brave in defeat under the top weight and should take improvement out of the run.
Yeah, I thought it was a good run. Obviously, he was carrying a little bit more condition in body weight. I had to carry top weight, and the pace early was solid. It's his first run for the season, and those horses have all had the benefit of one, two or more runs. So I thought he ran well.
Furore and Exultant will meet again next time in the Group 2 Jockey Club Cup before Furore presses on towards a tilt at the Hong Kong Cup, while Exultant will attempt to regain his crown in the Hong Kong Vase on the same day. The highlight of Sunday's undercard at Sha Tin was the Class 2 sprint over 1,000 metres, where Stronger prevailed at his first start for his new stable.
Stronger takes a gap between horses. Hong Kong wins on the far side. Multi-million still in front. Stronger's the one finishing, the stronger of the two, though. Stronger, first up for Douglas White, won it.
Stronger could now take his chances against Hong Kong's best sprinters, with Douglas White suggesting post-race that he could next run in the Group 2 Jockey Club Sprint on November the 22nd. It wasn't just at Sha Tin where HKIR clues were on display on Sunday. Tokyo Racecourse in Japan played host to the Group 1 Tenno Show Autumn over 2,000 metres, where Supermare Armandai picked up her 8th victory at the highest level.
It's Armandai, Chronogenesis and Pheromone. Armandai goes to the wire. She wins and gets into the history books.
After missing the trip to Hong Kong last year due to an elevated temperature, Almond Eye is entered for both the Hong Kong Mile and Cup, while third place getter Chrono Genesis is entered in both the Hong Kong Cup and Vase.
What a marvellous mare she is, Almond Eye. Let's go back though, Sam, and work our way through these talking points. Start off at the top then with Furore taking out the ladies' purse. He hasn't been running bad races. He was placed in Group 1 company on a couple of occasions last season behind Exultant, but that was back to his best really on the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Look, as you said, been running well. Even last year, International Day, he wasn't too far off the mark in the Cup behind Winbright, and been relatively consistent since. Just good to see the 2019 Derby winner show that I guess he's still got that appetite to win.
Definitely, and you now think that he's a live chance, pending what international horses come over for the Hong Kong Cup next month.
Certainly the pick of the local horses, and yeah, just the way he finished off on the weekend shows that there's plenty there, and as you said, depending on what comes, he's going to be flying the local flag and should be right around the mark.
Tony Cruz has got him going really well. It was a 1-2 in the race for Tony, the runner-up being Exultant, the returning horse of the year. What did you make of his first run back? Yeah,
fantastic run from Exultant. All you could have asked for from the reigning horse of the year to I guess racing pretty handy off a decent early speed to finish it off and hit the line like he did. It was great signs for what's to come, and once again, come International Day in the Vase, you'd expect him to be right up there, and yeah, regardless of what comes.
Definitely. Well, he's already beaten horses like Lise Groscher in the Vase when he won it a couple of years ago. You had the Arc winner, Voldgeist, in behind him this year. So his form lines are proven all around the world. And numerically, that was his best ever run in the ladies' purse from the 3 years that he's contested it. Of the others that were in behind Furore, what do we take out of the race, particularly from a point of view of going forward towards some of our bigger events?
Well, I think Southern Legend was very solid as always. Just never finishes far off the winner, and he's going to be there, I believe, in the Cup come December, and will be giving an absolute a sight as he always does. And one that was disappointing that I thought might offer more was Schifano, and hopefully if ridden with a bit more patience over a further distance should still be able to show something. Yeah, for sure. His previous run was very good, and he was, of course, close behind Exultant in the Champions and Trader Cup last season, so hopefully he can bounce back. I was also really taken with what Dances with Dragon did and what he's been doing this season. You did the write-up on the Class 2 sprint. Stronger, as we heard in that piece there, Sam. Douglas White might have some lofty targets for him. Yeah, he didn't really hold back, Dougie, did he? As he said, John Moore told him when he was getting the horse that he could be a very, very good sprinter, and Douglas is not normally one to get too far ahead of himself, but he did made it pretty clear that he's keen to get a move on with this horse and just see what exactly he can do, probably starting with the sprint race on the trial day on November 22. Yes, if ever there's a time to be having a crack at these big sprint races, with the lack of depth at this point in the sprinting ranks, this could be the time to do it. From Hong Kong then on the weekend, let's go to Japan. Almond Eye, we know that these are uncertain times that we're in, but if you're writing up a wish list for HKR, she'd be right up the top. She'd absolutely be top, and the Jockey Club were so close to nabbing her last year and having her come out, and that was obviously disappointing. I guess this year there's the added uncertainty of the fact that she's coming towards the end of her career, and they're not sure where they'd like her to have that swan song, I guess. The way I see it, probably Connections might be more likely to choose to run her on home soil and try and go out on a high that way, but there's hope there. The trainer has mentioned Hong Kong is definitely in his plan, so yeah, look, it'd be a surprise for me, but I'd be very happy to be surprised if they went that way. Yeah, I'd love to see her here. Just that turn of foot and that cruising speed that she's got when she turns for home is something to really behold. Chrono Genesis ran well in third. She's a Group 1 winner from the past. And Winbright's another one to take out of that race in terms of he's a dual Hong Kong Group 1 winner who might have just run a little bit below his best in the Tenno Show Autumn last weekend. Yeah, well, that's right. I think it was only his second start since last year's Hong Kong Cup, so I guess there's plenty of improvement for that horse, and not necessarily only fitness-wise, but the fact that he seems to grow another leg when he comes to Sha Tin, and not surprising that Connections are keen to chase a third Hong Kong Group 1 win with Winbright.
Yes, the defending champion from last year's Hong Kong Cup. So that's what happened last weekend and earlier this weekend. After the break, we're going to be looking ahead to what we've got coming up at Happy Valley on the weekend. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.